Hello, hey, good evening. Welcome out to tonight's coaching call for all of our coaching students. This is the weekly webinar we essentially do just for our coaching students, and so we're happy to have you. We've got quite a few of you with this,
Yeah.
so this is actually a great chance for us to talk to you guys specifically, and I think be able to convey different things that are happening, or to be able to teach different things in more specificity.
Yeah, well, there's definitely things that we leave out from the weekly webinar and just say for you guys. So, like, even things that we go over tonight, that we're going to be going over tonight. There's different areas in the country that we're investing in, different strategies. Well, really kind of areas and markets that we're kind of saving just for our coaching students and working with our coaching students in. And so, this is the perfect area on a week-to-week basis where we can connect with our coaching students, because the way that coaching works, sometimes you'll do your sessions and then you'll put your sessions on hold for a bit.
Yeah.
If you've got deeds coming in, or however it works. And so, this is definitely a great time to be able to do these type of
Yeah.
calls.
In fact, for today, a lot of times when we're doing sessions, we cover different content, but sometimes the most effective thing is just to simply show you how to do different things, or showing you different aspects of for instance, like searching for a tax sale list, or
Yeah.
searching through a tax sale list as we're performing due diligence, and helping you see the steps that we go through, and helping you, I think, determine exactly what due diligence is, and just the simple things that we do that help save us a lot of time too.
Yeah, yeah. And so, what we want to do today is we want to go through and look at South Carolina and spend some time on South Carolina today. And so, there's an upcoming tax deed auction that we want to go over, with opening bids starting at $100. And then we also want to just go online on Google and start searching different counties in South Carolina, because what's happened is they just had their sales in December. So they have brand new over-the-counter lists, and they also have essentially brand new over-the-counter deed lists. And then some of those deeds they'll start go ahead and selling as well through auctions or directly through over the counter. And so for those investors that are interested in South Carolina, with the tax lien investing, there is some advantage in there, with, as far as, there's only a year redemption period and then you get the property.
Yeah.
So, if you are looking to diversify, hey, we wouldn't mind putting a little of our funds in South Carolina or in a lien. Well, at least you know that within a year you're going to make your money back or get the property.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to tax liens, I think they're wonderful investments, and really they're amazing investments. And in a lot of other places, in some states, a tax lien is different. For instance, buying a tax lien in Florida, let's say, the chances of it leading to property in the end, it's not really what tax liens are about. But especially with Florida, you're not really generally going to end up with property in it because of the way that the system works out. But in other places, you can buy a tax lien, like for instance in South Carolina, where it has a 1-year redemption period, and after that you can get it turned into a deed without a lot of work. It's a little bit different almost from a straight. Well, there are ways you can approach that. I guess it's a better way to say it, is there are ways you could approach that if you wanted to acquire property, or just to earn a good high interest rate return as tax liens. You could really take the approach of doing it either way.
Yeah, well, and it really becomes a strategy as far as acquiring property is those over-the-counter tax liens, essentially maybe 10 months from now.
Yeah.
Where they're almost essentially going to turn into a deed. But there could be, some pretty good tax liens that are just fresh on the list that are worth investing into, and essentially having your money tied up there for a year, because a lot of states, are going to have some steps or something that's like for example, Arizona, you're going to have to hire an attorney to be able to do that. There's some self-executing states where you pay a fee and the county essentially will do it. But like in Florida, that essentially will get sold at a deed sale.
Yeah. What it comes down to is, it comes down to state law, like every time, and some states have what's called self-executing foreclosure, and some states practice what's called a non-self-executing foreclosure. And this really relates to whether it is the county that handles everything related to foreclosing. Really, a lot of it comes down to whether the county has the power to foreclose on the properties or not. Within state law, if they do, then then the county will oftentimes handle the foreclosure, and that's what you have in a case like Florida, where you only need to submit a bid and the county basically sends out all the notices and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas a non-self-executing foreclosure is what Arizona uses, and that is where the investor, the lien holder, has to be the one to to send out the foreclosure notices and do those things. And so they're different systems, but something you can find out as you read a little bit into the states. It's also a reason why you might choose to invest in certain states, or because of their self-executing foreclosure setups.
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's go ahead and let's go to the online tax deeds, and what we're going to look at is just some a sale coming up in South Carolina.
All right, so I'm just going to enlarge this here so that everybody can kind of see what we're doing. We actually end up using our own website for, we end up using our own website for a lot of the stuff that we do when we're doing regular research. So here we go. We're down to South Carolina.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and click on the February 8th through the 20th sale there.
Okay, for Spartanburg.
Yeah. And there's 97 properties here, and I'm sure that there's a number of junk. And with with our coaching students, if there's a number of you that are interested, then what we don't want to do is we don't want to have our coaching students competing with each other and bidding up yourself. And so if there's some that we're interested in, we can kind of figure out which ones are who. But essentially there's a lot of opportunity here, and we don't know how it's going to go, but if you click on, I think we have the online bidding list. We can see the bidding starts at $100. Essentially it's sold to the highest bidder. So it could go for, $100, or it could go for a bunch more. But there is some pretty interesting properties, and there's going to be more of these different types of sales that are going to, be taking place. And so
there's actually two different ways we could open the list here at this point. So what we did was we were looking at the website for Terry Howe, which is what is they one of the auction providers, or they a law house?
Yeah, an auction provider. I think so.
Yeah, and they basically had a link on there that sometimes you have to look for the online bidding right here, is what we click on. And what that does is it pulls up a different form of the list. But even from here, there's another form of the list, which is this interactive map. If we click on this, what it will do is it will map out the tax sale list by way of map, so that we could look if we wanted properties in a specific location. Otherwise, it's going to have them all listed down here below, and we know that there's a total of 97 records they have.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it's also, they provide some pretty good information here. You can kind of see which even that first property, you can see junk. At least we can get a closer look at it, but it looks pretty junky
a sliver
to
of
me.
land, and it looks like it's probably landlocked.
Yeah, that second property, I would almost say might be junk as well. Looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be too small. What we're looking at here, and let me see if I click on it, if it gives us a bigger image so that people can kind of see. Okay, so the reason why we're immediately discarding this is obvious to many, but we'll just say it again. So what we're looking for when we're looking at properties, we're looking for properties that have use and value. And in order to have even use, it has to have accessibility. And so we always look to see where the access points are. And this one is obviously landlocked. It's it's also not a huge piece of real estate, for how it's shaped. It's shaped really bizarre. Like like a thin little sliver of something. And so this is the useless land essentially that we want to avoid.
Yeah, exactly. We can look at it. Really, it just takes a bit of really common sense. This second one we can look at it in more detail, but my first assumption was it was too small, and
it's
it
a
is
useless piece of land.
Yeah, this is what we would actually consider more of a side lot, unbuildable side lot. Who does it have value to? It might have value to that neighbor there, and
that
that's
person
it.
was right there next to it.
But they probably owned it and quit paying it because they realized that it has no value.
Well, and who else are they going to sell it to?
That second one also
looks like it's,
junk,
landlocked.
I mean, it's kind of a cool property if it wasn't, because it goes right up there next to the pond or whatever. But now that one there, number 4. That
could have possibilities.
Yeah, that looks like a buildable. Let's click on it, just kind of see a better detail. So that looks like your normal size lot. In fact, it's bigger than the lot across the street where you can see there was a home there.
Yeah, in fact, you can see the property lines here. The way that they you've got one large piece here. You've got this piece, and I can't tell if those are old houses, maybe.
Yeah, I think they're covered in trees too.
Yeah, it might be.
I think there's houses are eating, and there's trees under.
Yeah. In fact, part of what we might do if we were trying to look into it more is we might see if we could get an overhead image or a street side image of the property with with current mapping like Google Maps.
Yeah, well, and we click on the county record. We see the tax assessor, the GSI.
We've got several links that we could click on right here.
GIS.
Yeah, so we can see immediately this one. Again, we would ignore it because it's more of a side lot. It's just kind of.
It's kind of one of those slivers, the kind of triangle slivers.
Yeah, this one's kind of a bizarre case as well.
It's more of a side lot. Well, yeah.
It's probably not good enough to be able to use, be used for anything. It's more of a side lot as well. And the same case with that and that and that for certain. And
that one, click on it.
Let's just see if it's landlocked for sure.
It is landlocked.
I mean, it's like it is, but
there is a road.
There's a road right there.
That's actually not landlocked. It's actually just kind of the lot at the end of the street.
But what it may be though is drainage right here. If you kind of see, you can follow this. In fact, wait, is that drainage? I
can't tell if that's a river or not.
Oh no, the river goes right here. Right next to that house. For some reason, it looks like maybe they've got something there that looks that dark. But the river, I think the creek kind of goes down, and I think it follows. Right here. Or at least that's a guess. Maybe it's not, but that's one thing to look at is to see if it's.
I wonder if you could. Build kind of right there. I don't know.
Let's see what why don't we see what the tax assessor says here about the property real quick so that we can okay, so they're giving it
7,200.
Yeah, an assessed value of 7,200 here.
Let's see what they put on up there at the top. Do they?
Public utilities, land size 0.
They have exempt government vacant, but that's probably what they put it into. Sanitary.
Yeah, sanitary, or sanitary sewer, is it all drainage? Or is it
utilities? I don't know. Probably.
We can pull up a map of it and try.
Who was it owned by? That might. Oh, it was bought at a county delinquent tax sale in 2018.
Yeah.
And somebody it was improved.
Yeah, they bought it for $636 in 2018. That seems awfully fast to lose the property, huh?
Yeah, well, they lost within a year.
Yeah, I guess,
and then the person below that, you can see that it sold in 2010. And so really you can see enough stuff on here of tax stuff from 2010 to now, and then you can see there needs validation all the way going back. I would probably avoid it.
Yeah, the deed history might be sticky on this property. What we mean by that is if you were to take this property through a quiet title, and then we could look at it and see, maybe it wouldn't be, too difficult, but this looks like additional work because I don't know, needs validation here.
Well, we don't even really know if it's buildable 100%.
There's not that many transactions really.
No, it's just somebody bought it, in 2010, but the sales qualified, it was unqualified, and what it says it was improved too. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's currently listed as vacant, but the other thing that we could do is we could also look at it and look at comps there in the area. But yeah, there's 97 properties. So before we get too hung up here on one, let's see if anything else stands out here to us. Now that one,
that looks nice.
that one has some potential here. Let's see what this one is.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I do like that. I do like that.
See what the assessor thinks on it. I bet there's probably 10 or 15. And the thing about it is
ooh, look at that.
We don't know, because this is an online auction. We're not just submitting bids to the county. It's got good size.
Acres.
We don't know what the competition. So it may go for
access to public water.
$500. It may go for $1,500. We don't know. And so that's where we kind of do the, determination, decide how high do I want to go up to 5 cents on the dollar, 10 cents on the dollar, kind of depending on the market and what you think the property value is.
Yeah. The value is pretty good on this property, though. The size is also pretty good on it. We can see that it's accessible. It's not landlocked, and the size of 1.6 acres is actually a great size.
Yeah, great size.
Let's see, historically transfers here, and it looks like it was listed as improved. It's improved right now. Yeah, grantor. It's kind of interesting. But last price was $7,400. And let's see. Now, this is actually worth looking at right here too. Hold on, let me back up for a second, because sometimes we don't always see this, but there are oftentimes when you get into the county websites, they have built-in comp tools. Tools that enable you to pull up recent sales in the area. And and what's nice about it is that when they've got that there, it's worth using at least to see how what you can pull up, because it's usually just a click away. Let's see, recent sales in the neighborhood, and let's see.
You have the price?
I don't see the price listed.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
You could probably look on if you wanted to find some that are close. Like if we were on Wagon Wheel Road, then we could, narrow that down. And
let's see if it tell us here, or we have to we
might go down the bottom and under sales. Oh, they did $10 gift.
Oh yeah, it was a gifted property, or it looks like it's a not a bad little place here, but. Yeah, maybe this one's not going to be quite so helpful as we were hoping here. Does it do the same thing with recent sales in the area and not tell you the amount? What? It includes everything but the amount, that is just crazy. But, well, we can look in other ways, faster ways anyway.
They're probably not thinking about investors so much looking up information to figure out comparative market analysis is trying to list the property sales.
Oh, look at this though. Click here to download contract package of the property, including so this is where they I think it's 11 pages here where they have everything broken down.
And that's that's one thing to consider is there's about $400 in fees that are going to be applied to it, plus a 15% buyer's premium. Oh, they charge a $5,000 deposit. Wow. I didn't realize it was that much.
$5,000 or full purchase price plus closing, whichever is
That's
less.
stupid to do that high of an earnest money when they're starting properties out at,
Yeah, such little amounts.
I mean, I'm sure they have a lot of people that probably don't pay, but because they didn't have it that high before. You know, I know it wasn't. I don't even know if they had an earnest money deposit last time Spartanburg did it. Somebody, I think one of our students bid in one of the auctions.
And the deed stamps are going to be $1.85 per 500 of the purchase price. So that's going to be, the deed stamps are basically, it's like a city tax, I think, or a state tax. The deed stamps, I think, that you're probably required to pay here. That's how, that's how you get that. But it's not usually too much, considering that the low cost of most of your tax deed properties here. Let's see, anything else here? It tells us.
Oh, maybe you don't have to. Maybe the earnest money is for the transaction, because I don't. Turn that on vibrate.
Well, yeah, we could go through and read into this a little bit more here. They've got the bidding increments set up here, so on the amounts what the bidding are. Although I think it's probably something that happens automatically with the online bidding here with this. But yeah, the buyer's premium though, 15%. Ouch. That's that's kind of a.
I think we'll have to see how it goes. There could be. We'll have to find out the 5,000 earnest money. I want to know if that has to be like a deposit beforehand, because if earnest money is like the deed transfer, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. Maybe it is a deposit.
Yeah, it could very well be possible. But that's a very nice property here. That we could look at now. There are some other things that we would probably do, if we were looking into a specific property.
That next one's not.
Some of these,
not bad.
That
looks built. That looks.
Yeah.
Decent.
Well, really, a lot of these look pretty good. I mean, this property right here, looks not too bad. Let's see. Now, the other thing that we would do here at some point in the process is pull these up. So the value on it is pretty high. Let's see how it's listed here. Panel station. What?
I think they're just putting that that's just the millage group.
Yeah. Yeah.
The utilities are well.
Yeah. Site conditions paved. And let's see here. And so part of what we do here is east side of the road, looks like 226 north of Pacolet River. If we were looking into some of these, it might be worth here. We can see, we can see it's, is it Hammock Grove? Hammock Grove Road?
Yeah.
Hammock. Okay.
There's quite a few of them on here. I think there might even be some.
Oh, here, let me erase a few of these here so we can.
There might be some that have addresses.
Yeah. Let's look at more of the inventory here to see exactly what we've got. So some of these are obvious. That one might be in drainage.
That 16 looks pretty good. 17 looks like it probably works. Check a little more into it. Yeah. 18 kind of looks landlocked. Yeah. 19 looks landlocked and small.
Yeah, landlocked.
That might work. It
has potential to might.
That's not a bad, just your average type lot. But if you could get one, let's say you're all into it and it's worth 10 grand and you get it for 1,000. We have to check the market and see we don't know what the market is. It's something you always check. But let's say it was worth 10,000. you pick it up still for 10 cents on the dollar if the market's good enough. It does have public water and public water, septic.
Yeah.
I think that other one had water, septic, and sewer, maybe. One of the first ones we need looked at.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of properties on here that that have potential. Let me see here if there's any of these we want to dig into a little more.
I think I saw that's got right across the street from Commercial. Oh, one thing I'm a little worried about is that ditch.
Yeah, part of it must be set up here for drainage.
You might be able to fill it in, but it might not be worth the hassle. Because I couldn't tell if it was an actual water, if it was it's got a 0.28 acre.
Yeah, so you'd think they would do it through some kind of an easement on it.
Yeah.
And
it would take more. I mean, we'd do diligence.
Start dig into it here to see exactly what the easement is, but the value on it's not too bad at $12,500. That's not too bad. It hasn't really sold to for any real value.
All of these are showing that they sold at this 2018 tax sale. But they were all unqualified. I wonder why. Like the sales did the buyers not pay through with it, or was there some type,
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. I don't know.
If we have students that are going through this list and the coaching members that are interested, we can do some more due diligence into it and see. But this is kind of about showing you guys these different types of opportunities, and then also, after we might spend a few minutes before the end kind of starting going through and showing you how
to tell if that's waterland, or if it's, usable.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell.
You can see that you definitely probably used to be, but they've created this road. You don't know if it's still wet over there, though.
Yeah. Look around for something that really jumps out as being pretty nice.
That's a lot at the end, but there's a ton of them, so.
Yeah, with the 100 here, what we'll do is we'll just kind of go through something
36
quickly.
we don't need to look at it, but.
Yeah, it could have some potential. Some of them are really obviously, not good. Yeah, that seems like a big chunk of land for, is it all on a hillside so that it's not usable, or is it, is it?
Could be.
Why don't we take a look at it real quick and see what it is? It's big. It looks big enough to be interesting anyway. Let's see what it says. Oh, the value on it is pretty high. It's 3.35 acres total. And
man, 152,000. I get the property taxes are high on it, and nobody's making any money on it. No wonder it goes to tax sale.
Yeah. I mean, the location looks like it's on Highway 21 here in Roebuck.
3.35 acre.
Yeah. What's kind of interesting about this is where it's located at, and with that value on, at $135,000 value, that would cause you to, I think that would cause you to do is to stop paying the property taxes pretty fast, because the first year, they're going to end up being, as much for that property as you would have for, equivalent, home.
Yeah.
Unless you could get it qualified somehow differently. So let's see here. I just want to see if I can spot the property here based on the map and what we're looking at. And I might pull it up here.
Let's figure out what that street is.
Oh yeah, right there. That's Happy Lane. Happy Lane. Okay, so we just need to see right there where the Happy Lane is at. Where that intercedes here. Or let me pull up Happy Lane.
Might even just put Happy Lane in Roebuck.
Yeah. Let's see. There's Happy Lane. Okay. All right. That's the property right there. So we're looking at, you can see it right here. And then if we look at right here, that's where it's at here. We're looking kind of back.
I wonder if we can,
we'll be able to do a street side image here on it, because you can kind of see. Whoops.
Starts almost at that other street that comes in.
Yeah, clear up here. I'm going to see if I can get down here where we can see. Okay, so where did it put me down?
I think it put you ways. Oh, I think it's way up there. I think you did it. I think we came down like several blocks.
Oh, here we go. That's the one that. Okay, so it's actually. Yeah, we were looking here at that building right there. I think it was right behind us here. So let me go a little bit forward, and I think it's going to be the stuff right up here on the right, because the transition. You know what? This is all flat though. It's not on a hill. That's one thing that's for certain already, is that at least it's not going to be on that big of a hill.
Probably not.
Hold on. Let me do this again since I'm kind of lost now.
Where? Let's see where it comes in right there. It's right about.
Yeah, right here. Where you think?
Yeah, that's where essentially, it's just south of that. But I wonder if we can get right there on that side.
Let's see where this puts us at here.
Yeah, it's essentially right there. Let's see. Oh, I wonder if it's kind of down a hill a little bit.
Yeah, it probably is here, just a bit here down it. Yeah, we can see that there is kind of a drop off right there.
What's that sign? It's not a for sale sign.
Emmanuel Baptist Church is what we're looking at there.
So it's kind of all of this land right along here. Oh, and there's a power line too.
Yeah. In fact, you can see there, where it starts, and so let's follow this up here to kind of see. So it is that area that drops down there, and it's going to go clear up here. It's kind of a long chunk of land, because really it's going to go all the way up until it separates, and Bowman, is up there ahead. So let's see. So I don't know if we'll be able to get a good view here of it, but it is.
I see that. You just see that billboard up ahead, but I wonder if there'd be enough traffic to buy it and put a number of billboards, or if there's just not enough. It looks like there's quite a few. There's some traffic on the road at least.
Yeah. So where that.
It's all down there.
Yeah. Where that road, turns off at.
Essentially goes downhill. It's probably not buildable. I mean, you might be able to build like a home, but I don't think you could, build. I don't think you could subdivide it into a bunch of lots.
Now, what might be kind of interesting is to see if we can. I just want to see if I can look at it from right down here. And, this is something else that we do sometimes, is if we can't see something directly, then what I'll do sometimes, is we'll try to look at it from like a different street to see, from there. So this is a street that would be down lower from this, and you're probably looking up and out. These, so it's actually the one that's right behind these properties, essentially.
Yeah.
I think is what it is. We're kind of looking at these ones right here on this.
Keep going till it turns further and there's empty lots. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it kind of curves there. I wonder where that's at. Like right here.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay, so. Right here. Okay, so this is a big piece of real estate. Okay, so right here where the road curves. Now we can see at least where we're at. We know where we're at right there. That was
that last house.
Yeah. So you can see with that last house.
But I wanted to see if we could see over towards the lot. Back towards it up at the top of this hill a bit.
Yeah, we should be able to actually get access and see some of it. A big chunk of it here.
It definitely also has an easement of the power line goes through it, but
yeah. So we can see that there are these lots. So it's not it's a little bit behind this. It's not the direct area that we're seeing here, but those only go back to about back around that line right there, and it's all the property back there too. You know, so it's interesting. You know, it's not too big of an elevation change. You know, I don't think that would be enough to rule it all out from being not usable.
Yeah.
You know, it probably has quite a bit of usable land there. Again, we're talking about a chunk that goes from. Yeah, I mean, now that we're looking at it here, we can see. As soon as this catches up here, we can back up just a little bit more. We'll be able to spot it out and see the whole thing now. So yeah, those properties, basically, the ones in between go out to here, but it's all of that, you know, between there and there. So the value on it is high. That probably would spook us away from it a bit, just because on the one hand, it means you can sell it for a higher price. It has more value there, but it also means, you know, that it's going to have a high holding cost on it if you're paying property taxes on it annually. I mean, property taxes on something valued
and
that
there could be limited use.
Yeah,
that's the problem. It has value, but we're wondering about the use. I mean, really, I would look at it. Really, could I put billboards there, and could I be profitable? But even then, you know, what could it bid to?
Yeah.
There's an older house there. I saw one house that actually looked really clean. Probably get a ton of bidding.
Yeah, that one is pretty rough looking.
Yeah.
You know, there are some different lots though that would be worth bidding on. You know, yeah, this one looks pretty attractive. Yeah, right here. You know, that looks ideal. That looks like the kind of thing, you know, that you would jump on here.
Sure, probably get some bidding. I don't think any of these properties are going to go for 100, but there could be opportunity to get them for 5. You know, you're not looking at essentially 1 cent on the dollar. You're probably looking at 5, 10. You know, some of the nicer ones may go a little higher than that, but
yeah, you know, so this one is 1.14 acres, and you can see that it's right there. We're in a community, you know, that already has been developed and will obviously get developed here at some point, valued at $20,000.
Hollow Run Court.
Yeah, that is a complete address here on it. And let's see here where that puts us at. Yeah, oh, there you go. You can see it. Yeah, you can see it right there.
One thing I didn't realize but I'm looking at it now that's good, is that it has not been, it's still naturally landscaped.
Yeah, that's actually something that you're going to look at whenever there's a lot. What you want to consider is if there's upkeep that's required on the property, because if it's in the tax sale, chances are nobody's doing the upkeep that's required. And so if there is upkeep required, you know, that's kind of a question you ask yourself, and sometimes that will lead you to finding different types of municipal liens. But if it's naturally landscaped, you've always got the advantage there that you know, it should, you know, that just the way it sits, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you don't have to have something taken care of there with the property. Yeah, it's at the very end of this here.
Should have just taken you right down on the lot.
I was a little ways away from it here.
Oh.
When I set it down here, but there we go. So we can see. So there is an elevation drop. You know, it does go down there. You know,
that's true.
You know, you need to look to see, because I don't know if it's you know, how usable.
It is a pretty big drop.
You know how usable it is. You know, maybe there's a reason why they didn't build in that part, but I don't know.
Yeah, definitely you can see that. That's the question: is how far does it really go back before it starts?
Well, and it still may be usable. I mean, that's the question is whether it's usable or not. I mean, they've got it valued at $20,000, and yeah, it is over an acre of land. If it is usable, yeah, this would be ideal in terms of its location. So, you know, this would be one that could potentially be worth looking into. I don't know.
These are the reasons you want to go through the steps, though. You know, I mean, if we didn't look at that, everything looked at that was perfect lot, even as we looked at the overhead. But until we saw that street view and saw that, oh, there's, that looks like it goes down pretty quickly, we didn't know. And if you didn't even do that, just an additional step to check and just bid on it based on it, it could be buildable.
Yeah, it may not be too big of a drop.
And it might be a kind of a gradual drop.
Yeah, there could also be water back there.
We're just not positive what's in there because of.
It might just be a beautiful lot.
You can kind of see that tree isn't very, but that's kind of on the edge of their yard.
Yeah, it's it's not a tremendous elevation change. It looks like it takes place there. There could be water back there as some part of a river, but again, it's an acre of land, and if there is a river on, there may still be plenty of land to.
Well, if you were to build a home, you'd build a home, probably almost kind of up front, and then
you could really build it.
The home kind of drops down levels. I would imagine.
Yeah, that would be kind of a cool property though, if you think about it. It is big and it goes back quite a ways. It's pretty deep. Okay, so let me eliminate a few of these so we can look at.
I think there's, I think there was a decent house.
Well, here, let me back this up in here. Let me see. Let's look at the house. That one looks pretty good too.
That one's not bad.
Yeah, 53 would be worth looking into.
54, 55 might work. 56 looks like it's built.
Yeah, several of these are pretty good. That one, 57 is probably landlocked. 59, it's potential.
Yeah, that might work too. See, there's a
road
going to it.
Oh yeah, there is a house. Sure enough. Let's see what the story is with this. So they actually have they got the photo up of the with their listing. That's the South Carolina tax sale.
Yeah.
With the.
I think they said they had more pics up the top. I saw.
Let's see. Show all images. I think that's all we get. Are just those two, but let's at least.
Let's see the current.
Yeah, let's at least see what at least we do know that that's a current photo. That is one thing that's nice about the property that's being auctioned off like this. Let's see, the current total taxable value is $70,000 is what they have listed there, and that's including $12,000 in land value and $58,000 in improvement value. And we can see the address here. Something else that might be worth looking at. As while we were at it is just to see what the assessed value is compared to what a Zillow estimate might be on the property there or other properties in the neighborhood, because that can make a major difference in whether or not you may want to buy somewhere if there's a major difference between assessed and
estimates 85. It's on auction.
Yeah, 85,000 what they're guessing here. Let's see. Let me switch this over so we can see aerial. And
there's a home for 65 close by and 42, but most of them are pretty expensive.
Oh, which one is this? I wonder why it took us out so far. Close a few windows here. Oh, there we go. Okay, there's that. Okay, we can see right there in green.
I'll click on the 65 and see what the example looks like. Or the 42, cheapest ones close by. And
that looks like a tax sale property.
Some ways it looks like it needs more work than the other house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this one looks way rougher than.
It's old. It's an old home.
Yeah, this one's way more rough than
that other home's. Kind of like more of a 60s or 70s, slab. That one's like an old.
Let's see what.
Yeah, it looks like just kind of a 70s slab just a rambler, or whatever. I don't know if they do slab, but
Oh, this is just a lot. This is
Yeah.
all right. So that's not.
What was the one for 42 though? Right here.
Let's see. 42,000 currently for sale.
And that one's in worse shape too.
Yeah. I mean, this property could realistically have a value right now of 50,000 plus. Let's see. Now with the other thing we would start to do as well as we would start trying to narrow down and find the best good recently sold examples here, and there's actually a ton there right here by it, if you look, but these are going to be for varying amounts. I mean, 106,000 on this one, it sold 6 months ago. And it's not a perfect house by any means.
No.
So at 106,000, that at least gives us some idea of the market, and that's like right there next to it. Let's see. Where did our little 5,000 go? Hold on, let me pull that away.
There.
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so let me pull it back up again, and we can see there are some of these that are right next to it. Oh, dang it! Why did I do that? There we go. Oh yeah, so we can see the one here that sold for 92,000 that was right next to the property. And vacant land home. Let's see.
That's an older
1910. Yeah, really old house as well. There. Yeah, I think that there is some potential there for.
The one question is the one nice house on the list.
Yeah.
If you could still,
what kind of competition it'll get.
But if you could get it for 20 cents of market value, even 25 cents, it could be worth it, even at 25 cents for a certain investor.
Yeah, it's true, and maybe it won't get a crazy amount of competition. It's hard to predict what's going to happen in an auction. I mean, there's also strategies that you can try to utilize if you're trying to. You're trying to get a property at a low price. For instance, if you were bidding on this property, it might be a good idea to not show a lot of interest in it. Sometimes these websites have trackers that will track how many times you're looking at, how many times a certain image has been viewed. I mean, a certain property has been viewed, and people can add it to their favorites and things like that. And if we're interested in a property, we rarely do any of that. In fact, if they do count how many times we're looking at the page, we try to limit how many times we can pull it up, because we want to limit any interest in the property in general, so that if we can jump into the last second and get it, we can get it at the low price rather than creating a bidding war.
Yeah, definitely. And I think there's a lot of opportunity. Should we?
We probably have to pretty much wrap it up anyway for the weekly webinar that's going to start here in just a bit. But
if you're interested in this, if you're interested in this auction at all, go take a look at the list. Start going through the list and start looking at some properties, and then send either us or Michael an email, and we can look at what properties you guys are interested in if you are.
Yeah, it's in the online auction section for online deeds, and it's just right here starting in South Carolina. There are some of these listed right there.
With this type of auction, it's really kind of something where I think that we can take it as, if I get it, awesome. If I don't get it, it's not going to be the end of the world, because we try to get them for such low prices. I think that I don't think this is a market that would justify on most of these properties paying more than 10 or 12 cents on the dollar. I don't know enough.
No
we can look
into
maybe the land's worth more than that, more than the 12, but even the assessed value, 10 cents, maybe 15 cents on a really nice one, but I don't think this is a place you pay more than that for the land.
No, there's no point in paying a lot
But if
for
you do,
property,
great.
if you do know how to pick it up
If you
cheaper
don't,
somewhere
it's
else.
okay. It's really kind of about going through that experience as well and getting a chance. You've got to, it's almost like, poker or some type of, you got to keep taking the chance and eventually it pays off.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We are going to hop on the weekly webinar here in just a minute. You're welcome to join us there as well. Thanks for being with us tonight, though.